Salutations and welcome back to my channel. My name is Kidology and I make videos about everything and anything to do with modern society. So in today's video we are going back to an old classic on this channel, which is reviewing the School of Life, because as we all know, the School of Life stands for the School of Lies.
You're a lie. You're a lie.
I have only my patrons to thank, brethren and Kidologists. Thank you very much for voting on this month's video from the School of Life YouTube page that we are going to react to today. If you would like to contribute or have your say in which video I react to next month from the School of Life, please feel free to join us on Patreon. Thank you so much to my patrons, and thank you for watching and for contributing, and please feel free to add your little gobbets and 2 cents in the comment section below.
Just feel like there's no point anymore. I can't be bothered to go on any more dates. You don't even want to know what it's like out there.
You deserve someone so nice.
And everyone I meet is either a psychopath or a freak. They're all weirdos.
Oh my god, do you remember Jack?
Jack, oh my god.
Well, firstly, the production value is a bit lower than I would expect for the School of Life, but I do believe that this is one of their older videos, so I won't downmark them for that. So from the outset, I'm getting this impression, which I get from a lot of modern dating, which is standards. I'm going to be quite severe in this video, so do excuse me and bear with me.
It's not even like I'm trying to be that picky. I just want someone who's friendly and kind. He doesn't have to be loaded. He doesn't have to be really good looking. He just has to be nice.
Lies. Absolute and utter lies, or as Amberlynn Reid would say,
You're a lie. You're a lie.
there's also this issue that I have with this idea of nice people. And I saw this in a comment on this video, which I will put on the screen at some point and you can pause and read it. But I did agree with what this individual said, which was that they saw themselves as a nice person. They do nice things. They hold doors open for people. They interact politely with people. They smile at strangers. They just get on with life without obstructing anybody else's life, and they make sure purposefully that they don't do such things. So characteristically a nice person, but within themselves and in their thought processes and interactions, just in terms of thinking about the world, they experience a lot of resentment, a lot of distaste, a lot of dissatisfaction, a lot of misanthropy. And I agree wholeheartedly with that. So in this sense, is this person really a nice person? And I think that this is how a lot of people interact with the world. They are nice in the public theatre of existence, but then behind the scenes, it's a whole different story. And I think it's because so many of us feel this way internally and feel this sort of dissatisfaction and are just so self-critical that inevitably when we interact with people who seem to be nice people, we instantly see ourselves in them or see an element of what we are that is nice on the outside, everything's fine, happy days externally, but within it's anything but. We are shielding so much of ourselves in order to protect ourselves, basic survival, that inevitably everybody else is doing the same thing. And when we see individuals who are actually nice through and through, they have nice thoughts about the world, nice thoughts about themselves, everything about them is nice, categorically speaking, it just seems quite unbelievable. And we think that there must be a catch somewhere. There's got to be something wrong. We say we'd like to find somebody nice, but nice people can be remarkably hard to deal with if and when they do show up.
Well, I guess it's like 12-hour days and it's good.
That's amazing. I mean, It's amazing that you juggle so many different responsibilities at work. I don't know how you do it.
Oh.
This is the nice guy, and his name is Graham. I'm very team Graham, but this is also something that just irks me a little bit about this video. I mean, I think the vast majority of nice guys in this world can only dream that they look like him based on sort of the criteria that men have to somehow meet in the dating world. And I find this also to be quite irksome. I think it's inevitable, sadly, but I think that when it comes to online dating, men are at a substantial disadvantage. Substantial. And I say this more so in terms of men who take online dating seriously in looking for an actual long-term partner or partners. I think they have it very, very difficult. I think because they have to fit into so many expectations. Somehow they have to be masculine because that is what the majority of women, seemingly based on statistics, find attractive in men. They also have to be nice guys, but they can't be so nice that they are then intolerable to women. And it is quite a lot. It is a burden, very much so. It is a burden that I think is increasingly very, not only difficult, but impossible for young men to live up to. There is a difference and a fine line between having expectations and unrealistic expectations. And I think often, especially in our social media age, the unrealistic expectations often take center stage relative to the expectations. Because I do find that as somebody who has used dating sites looking for both men and women, I found it so much easier interacting and communicating with men than I did with women. Women were so picky. It was, wow. I don't know if it's just a British thing, but I found that on lesbian and bisexual dating sites, I got absolutely no response, no interaction whatsoever. And it was very crushing because I very much do look toward the validation of women relative to going onto a heterosexual site in which I found that it was actually a lot easier to talk to men. These men who I spoke with on these apps spoke about themselves, not because they were full of themselves, but because a lot of them were actually just very lonely and didn't have a lot of really meaningful interaction with women. And here I was on a dating site faced with these men who, yes, of course, inevitably, wherever you go, there's going to be creeps, but that should not taint the entire experience. A lot of them were really nice. It was quite daunting having these men actually communicating with me, telling me so much about themselves, about their interests, their passions, writing whole paragraphs about their feelings on XYZ. It was daunting because I felt that I didn't warrant that attention. And the person who suffered most from it was, I would say, this man who I, in most cases, would reject. I'm so sorry. I think it's just a vicious cycle as well, because women tend to have a very, very low self-image and self-esteem. We don't tend to see ourselves in a good light, and this is because of our upbringings and also of society and just our own self-loathing a lot of the time. And I think then when a man comes in real life and says to us, actually, you know, you're not so bad, we think there must definitely be something, there's something wrong. I see it more as a vicious cycle that everyone's involved in and culpable in. But yes, I have completely forgotten about this video. If we're not sufficiently convinced of our own niceness, the affections of others can feel like a gift we haven't earned and don't deserve.
Is this okay?
Yeah. It's lovely. I've really enjoyed today.
Yeah, me too.
Sorry, I realised I stupidly arranged that I'm meant to be somewhere else.
That's right.
It's like 6:30 and yeah.
No worries. I had a great time.
Me too.
Anyway, tell me about you. Tell me what you've been up to.
Well, I went on that date last week.
Okay.
Yeah.
With that guy?
Yeah, Graham. Remember I told you about him?
Yeah. How'd it go?
Yeah, it was good.
You're not sure?
No, I had a good time.
Okay.
Yeah, he's nice.
Great. Oh, I'm so pleased for you.
Yeah.
Right, so my interpretation of that little interaction was that, oh, he didn't live up to our protagonist's very high and realistic expectations. Expectations that she probably is not willing to admit to herself. However, the School of Life's interpretation of this little interaction is, we might feel an impulse to punish those who are nice to us for misreading our true characters. I don't know if this is a saying, but if it looks like a duck, if it quacks like a duck, if it walks like a duck, if it waddles like a duck, if it emerges from an egg like a duck, then it is most likely a duck. I think that's a very good lesson to take from this. I think this is also a problem of our time because we see everything in sort of exchange relationship terms. Everything has a value and we see a value in everything. Our time is valuable. Expending emotions on somebody is emotional labor. Everything has this tag of value, and I think that is just very symptomatic of our very economically, financially minded age. And it is unfortunate because it does ruin relationships or the potential of good, healthy, productive, compromised relationships. I think being more directly critical of the video, I tend to find that with a lot of the School of Life videos, there seems to be this assumption of an audience that is universally good, that the people watching the School of Life videos are nice people who don't realize that they're nice people, are the good guys even though they don't realize they're the good guys, are the victims of a narcissistic friendship or boyfriend or girlfriend, but they just don't realize it until they've watched this video in which Alan tells them that they are in fact the hero in this story. And I think that this is quite disingenuous in the sense that everybody who watches a School of Life video gets something from it and oftentimes gets a misconstrued perception that they are in the right because this video told me so. Maybe our protagonist just isn't a very nice person. Maybe she says one thing but actually means another thing. This video really didn't hit too much for me. I felt I could see where it was trying to get to, but I think it decided to take the more scenic route and on the way got lost within the scenery. So I didn't gather as much insight from it as I think it was trying to give me. But it's one of their older works, so I appreciate the effort, I appreciate the acting, I appreciate all the added little gobbets, the tagliatelle and the compost bin. That gives me some food for thought, no pun intended. What is a nice person anyway? Because we are all in a way just acting and playing a role when we are in the world and interacting with others socially and even personally in our personal relationships. We fulfill particular roles at particular points for particular individuals who we are in intimate relationships with. Is all niceness and all acts of nicety merely self-interested or not? I personally feel that there is an element of self-interest in everything that we do, whether that self-interest be very economic or whether that self-interest be merely trying to find meaningfulness in and of our lives, a reason for us to get up every day, a reason for us to do life, basically. I think everything inevitably is selfish, and I think that's why it's so difficult to get to terms with trying to reconcile the inevitable selfishness of the human experience, which we all have in common, with these acts of seeming selflessness that seem to contradict our whole worldview. So I think that's just an interesting discussion to have in any case and in any way. I think it does get to the root of something that is very contemporary and that we have to consider with things such as online dating. Divorce rates are the highest that there have ever been. The majority of marriages at this point end in divorce. People are in relationships and out of relationships, together and they're not together, and the notion of actually staying with one partner for the rest of your life seems increasingly less likely. And I think when it comes to things like this, considering what kind of person we would like to spend the rest of our life with, do we want to spend the rest of our life with a nice person? And if not, why not? What do we compromise in not wanting to be with a nice person? And inevitably, this notion of why nice people are so intolerable infers that there is such a thing as a not nice person. And I think that it's a bit binary, sort of having these categories of nice and not nice people. I mean, somebody who is incredibly rude and insulting and horrible to me, such as my boss, can then be a loving and exceptional mother in her private life. And according to her kids and her friends and her family, she's nice. But according to me, she's anything but. So is she a nice person or isn't she a nice person? And I think it's very simplistic and it's very easy, but also quite damaging to actually situate them entirely within one or the other. I think we all have nice aspects about us according to certain people and not so nice aspects about us according to other people, and that this evolves with context, with time, with age, with hindsight, etc. I think this video is more so about not being able to tolerate the nice guy trope, but I think in general it's about, can we tolerate just human beings, really and truly? Yes. So yeah, I think it's just one of those things. But anyway, that's all I have to contribute to this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, to comment, and to subscribe. Thank you so much once again to all of my patrons. I appreciate you considerably. Thank you to all my subscribers and everybody who's just taken the time to watch this video. I adore each and every one of you. I'll see you in the next one.